Gunther attacked his own general manager, posted the video online without a hint of guilt, and told fans that's exactly how authority should be treated. Stay with me until the end of this one, because there's an actual quote from someone close to this situation that I'm going to show you in full, and it's the piece that made this whole theory click for me. But first, let's build up to it properly. Welcome back to WWE Galaxy, I'm Nova. I want to lay out why I think Gunther's recent behavior is deliberate, not a guy spiraling. Once you see everything he's done these past few weeks lined up in order, I think you'll land in the same place I did. Let's actually count this out, because the number matters. Gunther lost to Cody Rhodes at Clash in Italy, though the finish was controversial since his foot was under the ropes. He lost to him again with Sami Zayn as the referee, and he got beaten again at Night of Champions in the triple threat that decided the title. 3 losses to the same man in a matter of months. For a guy who spent years being sold as an unstoppable monster, a guy who ended the careers of AJ Styles, John Cena, and Goldberg, that stretches a real dent in the character. And it's not like these were competitive losses either, where he came close each time. 2 of the 3 had asterisks on them: a missed foot placement, a referee with his own agenda. That's the kind of run that usually means one of 2 things. Either the company's actually moving away from him, or something bigger is being built underneath it that requires him to look weaker before he looks stronger again. Now layer his actions on top of that losing streak. He got suspended after physically going after Nick Aldis at Night of Champions. Instead of laying low during that suspension, he shows up on SmackDown and attacks Aldis again in front of everybody. He broadcasts it himself afterward instead of trying to explain it away. Think about how backwards that actually is. If you're worried about your spot, you don't repeat the exact offense that got you suspended. You don't hand the company a second reason to write you off, and you definitely don't film yourself doing it and post it with a caption telling fans, "This is how authority should be treated." That's somebody making his situation worse on purpose, repeatedly, almost daring the company to finally pull the trigger. Most performers spend their whole careers trying to stay in management's good graces. Gunther's doing the opposite, loudly, on a platform millions of people see. What makes me think this is deliberate rather than a guy just losing his cool is a real, credible report floating around right now, saying WWE has a significant twist planned for Gunther specifically after SummerSlam. The same report notes there was backstage concern that his recent losing streak could hurt him long term, but that concern has apparently eased because of whatever's actually coming next. Put those 2 things together: a guy who keeps sabotaging his own standing with management, and a company that's reportedly not worried about it because they've got something bigger planned. That's exactly the kind of setup you'd expect if the plan is to have him pushed out for a while, specifically so he can come back reinvented later. Wrestling's used this exact move before with other guys. Take somebody away right when the audience thinks they've got him figured out, then bring him back different enough that the old rules don't apply anymore. If this kind of connect the dots breakdown is what you come here for, tapping like and subscribing actually helps me keep chasing threads like this one. Let's get into what getting fired would actually do for him. Gunther's been the dominant, terrifying monster for years now, and that shine has dimmed a little with 3 straight losses to Cody. A character like that doesn't usually get rebuilt through more matches. He gets it through a reset, and there's no cleaner reset in wrestling than disappearing after a firing angle and coming back with a completely different presentation, one nobody expects and nobody controls. If Gunther gets written off SmackDown as a consequence of attacking Aldis, his story doesn't end there. It resets, so his eventual return hits like something new instead of more of the same guy who keeps losing to Cody Rhodes. And the timing lines up too. If this plays out around SummerSlam, that gives WWE a built-in reason to keep him off an already crowded 2-night card while quietly setting up whatever comes after. He gets to skip the one event where he'd just be another name on a stacked card and reappear later when there's actual room to make an impact. I do want to be fair here because there's a simpler explanation too. Sometimes a losing streak is just a losing streak, and sometimes a guy lashes out because he's frustrated rather than following any larger plan. WWE hasn't confirmed any of this. There's just a vague report about a twist coming later in the year. Nothing more concrete than that. It's entirely possible Gunther's having a rough stretch and the company handles it the ordinary way, a slow climb back with no dramatic exit at all. Here's what I promised you at the start. There's an actual quote from someone with knowledge of the situation, and I want you to hear it the way I did. The source said his path may not be clear right now, but it will be soon, that there will be some changes coming, that he'll be a champion again, but that's not actually the goal right now, and that there's a big twist coming in his story specifically after SummerSlam. Read that again. Not the goal right now. That's language describing describing an actual plan with stages to it, one where losing right now is a deliberate part of getting somewhere bigger later. If that's accurate, everything Gunther's done these past few weeks reads less like chaos and more like a guy building toward whatever comes next. So am I reading too much into a guy having a rough few months? Or is Gunther actually engineering his own exit so he can come back as something scarier than what we've seen so far? Tell me your take in the comments. Like the video if this theory got you thinking, subscribe if you're new, and I'll keep tracking this one closely. I'm Nova, WWE Galaxy. See you in the next one.